Every now and then I play a game with no intention of making a video about it, or I do intend to make a video about it but just run out of time. Thing is though, I've got some pretty strong feelings for at least 2 of the games I played this year that I had no intention of talking about, so I figured I'd do this little catch up. I can talk about those 2 games plus some of the others I never got around to. Don't expect each of them to get a full review in this one video, even though I did finish all of them. I'm just going to run through a few quick thoughts that have stuck with me. Oh, and don't forget to stick around to the end for this video's JRPG Christmas giveaway question. I was honestly really surprised to see such a positive reception for Jedi Fallen Order, but I guess after only 2 woefully incomplete insulting efforts from EA 6 years into their 10-year exclusivity deal, this barely passable effort looks pretty good. Now this isn't meant to be an insult to Respawn. I think they did the best they could with the limited time they were given, but I just did not like this game at all. It's unimaginative, it's boring, it has some of the worst motion capture I have ever seen, the main character is so completely unlikable, and I can't ever remember feeling less powerful in a Star Wars game in which I am meant to be playing an incredibly powerful Force user. I don't like games using the exact actor likeness in motion capture at the best of times, but if you are going to do it, could you choose a better model than Adam Sandler in Little Nicky?
Yeah, I used to talk normal too, but that was before my brother Cassius hit me in the face with a shovel.
You are constantly being beaten over the head with this slack-jawed 14-year-old main protagonist throughout the story, and the actual actor does not look this bad. I can only assume that he had a minor stroke during the mocap. 80% of this game can be summed up in one word.
Parkour! Michael, parkour! Parkour! Extreme! Parkour! Parkour!
When did Star Wars become almost entirely about parkour? It is by far the largest part of this game, and the less said about the combat, the better. It's like Dark Souls, except nowhere near as hard, but all the enemies are just annoying enough to make you feel like some pathetic clown instead of an all-powerful Jedi. The way basic stormtroopers would make tiny backsteps just outside your lightsaber range as you started attacking made Cal Kestis feel even more pathetic than he looks and sounds. The story goes absolutely nowhere despite having some genuinely interesting and fantastic characters. There's a somewhat enjoyable cookie-cutter AAA action-adventure game in here somewhere, but packaging it up as a Star Wars game in the way they have leaves much to be desired. But I guess it could always be worse. The Outer Worlds is like a massive FU to anyone who's defended Bethesda in the past. Oh, it's not Bethesda's shitty 200-year-old engine, it's just because their games are so big. You can't make a game this big without lots of bugs. This is just the Bethesda charm. Bethesda isn't lazy, blah blah blah. The Outer Worlds is freaking fantastic. It's excellent, it's incredible. And guess what? It suffers from none of the garbage that's been plaguing Bethesda's efforts for the past 10 years. Obsidian have conclusively proven that you can make a game that looks, feels, and plays like a Fallout game in a new engine with much better visuals and without 200,000 new and returning game-breaking bugs. Beyond all that though, The Outer Worlds is just better than Fallout. Fallout survives almost purely on concept. Once the novelty of exploring a post-apocalyptic wasteland wears off, there really is nothing else there. The Outer Worlds captivated me from beginning to end. It's one of the first Western RPGs in this style where I was more invested in the main story than exploring or getting sidetracked. I actively wanted to pursue the main goals and find out what happens next. I wasn't just chasing the next skill point. Through various strategic saves, I saw 3 endings in total, 2 majorly different ones, and even maxed out and kind of overpowered by the end, I never got bored simply because the story, writing and characters and everything else was so good. The humor is spot on too. I cackled out loud during the scene towards the end where all your companions give you some words of encouragement or reminisce about your journey so far. Then the camera turned to the only companion who hadn't spoken yet, a robot originally designed for cleaning, and instead of offering an encouraging speech during this heartfelt moment, he did a Billy Mays style infomercial pitch for his cleaning products. It's a brilliant game, and I'm glad this style of RPG has a bright future ahead of it thanks to Obsidian. Now this is a bit of a weird one. I didn't really have any interest in Labo, but I said to myself that if I ever had a chance to buy it cheap enough, I'd give it a go. I never agreed with the sentiment that it was just cardboard, and after digging through the variety kit, I think my disagreement is justified. Labo is a really neat idea. It is 100 times better at showcasing what the Switch is capable of than 1-2 Switch was, but it would have been quite hard to make something like this the actual showcase title. It is undoubtedly niche, and is very involved. The time it takes to build these things surprised the hell out of me. I swear the piano took the best part of an entire day to put together. There are so many moving parts, and I don't even want to think about how long this took to engineer and design. I would have liked to try out the robot one because that actually looks like more of a game, but that is still too expensive to pick up out of pure curiosity. The variety pack is obviously aimed at kids, and I think it hits the mark. The building is involved and time consuming, but it's not particularly hard. The fact that it's cardboard makes it easy as hell to repair if you do mess something up, and the software behind some of the things you build actually gets really deep. The piano isn't just a basic piano, there's a whole recording studio in here. You can make an entire song using various bits of cardboard sheets and dials that you've made in conjunction with your piano playing skills. As I said earlier, it's a neat idea. It blurs the line between something like Lego and video games that ironically Lego Dimensions couldn't. It makes me wonder what's next for Labo, if anything. Now this is a game I fully intended to review, but after doing my initial impressions video, I could never find the time. I only went back to finish it relatively recently, and I don't have a whole lot to say, to be honest. Much of the positive things I talked about in my Dragonstar Varnir review apply to Death End Request. I just simply thought Dragonstar Varnir was a little bit better. It is great to see Compile Heart spread their wings more and really truly improve the quality of the games they are delivering. Death End Request was a step up from almost everything they'd done in the past, and Dragonstar Varnir was yet another step forward. The reason I think Dragonstar Varnir was a little better came down to the structure of the game and how it played. Death End Request had several spots where progression was very vague. There were at least 2 times I kind of wandered around aimlessly trying to figure out what to do. This kind of mild vagueness can be great in JRPGs. It's part of the reason we love a lot of the older JRPGs, but it really isn't Compile Heart's strong suit. It didn't so much create mystery as it did mild annoyance and confusion. Dragonstar Varnir was just a much more streamlined, cohesive experience. That said though, I much prefer the aesthetic in Death End Request. I loved the soundtrack and the battle system was really interesting, and honestly I can't wait to see how they improve on this with Death End Request 2 next year. Though it hasn't been confirmed for us just yet, I expect that announcement to come by mid-2020. Don't forget to enter the JRPG Christmas giveaway by commenting your answer along with the hashtag JRPG Christmas and a social media username I can contact you on. The question for this video is, did you play anything in 2019 that you normally wouldn't be interested in, and what did you think of it? Thanks for watching, good luck, and I'll see you all soon.